Hey there guys, Optimizer here and welcome to the PvP guide on what I like to call the Beast. Or in other words, the Black Knight Greatsword. This thing has a little bit of everything. It's got a great moveset, which gives you a lot of offensive options to throw off your opponent. And this is something that I'll be demonstrating to you in this guide. The other thing it has going for it is the damage to weight ratio. And it's got a pretty low stat requirement as well. So in other words, you're going to be doing a ton of damage without much investment at all. Now it's worth mentioning at this point that I also did a PvP guide on using the Fume Ultra Greatsword, and the reason I'm saying that is that a lot of the moveset with this weapon is the same. So I suggest you also check out that video because I don't want to be, making the same video with this weapon. So what this video is going to do is just kind of expand upon the things I said in the Fume Ultra Greatsword PvP guide. And this is kind of more tailored towards intermediate players, whereas what I did previously with the Fume Ultra Greatsword is broken down for beginners. So to start off, to get this weapon you need to farm the Black Knight at Farron Keep. It didn't take me too long, maybe 30 minutes tops, using the Rusted Gold Coin and the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring. The minimum stat requirements are 30 Strength and 18 Dex. When fully upgraded, you're looking at a B scaling in Strength and a D scaling in Dex. To upgrade the weapon, you need Twinkling Titanites, which takes you to +4, and a Titanite Slab, which takes you to +5. So to get the most out of this weapon, I would aim for a 40-40 build. But if you're limiting your SL level to something a little lower like I have, then I would aim for 40 Strength and leave Dex at its base requirements. Getting right into the moveset, the two-handed R1s are going to be your bread and butter for this weapon. I use this to initiate the majority of my offensive play. It's worth saying that this move is a lot more versatile than you think, and this is something I'll demonstrate to you in this PvP guide. And as you can see from these clips, you can pretty much almost one-shot people, or at least take 90% of their health off just by landing the two-handed R1 combos. One thing I like to do with the R1 is what I like to call the delay follow-up. So generally speaking, if you miss with the first R1, you do not want to follow up with the second R1 due to its long recovery. However, you can use delay follow-up as a bait. It just comes down to timing and the position and approach of your opponent. I generally like to keep this tactic up my sleeve towards the end of the match to use as a finisher. All you have to do is whiff an R1, watch your opponent's approach and hit the second R1 again, and the tracking on it is pretty good, as you can see. As I said, I like to save this as a finisher for my opponent. As I said earlier, the two-handed R1s is a lot more versatile than you think, and you can also use it to panic roll punish, as you can see in this clip. Just go up right behind them, hit the R1, and if they roll in a straight line, you're more than likely going to hit them. However, with latency, it's not always a guaranteed thing, but it is definitely worth trying. As I said earlier, the two-handed R1 is the bread and butter to initiate attacks. So once you've landed the R1 combo, you can try a rolling R1 follow-up, which is a thrusting attack. Because the R1 combo does so much damage, and you're talking like 75%, 90% of your opponent's health depending on their base HP, because it does so much damage, most players tend to panic roll afterwards, and you can use this to your advantage. You'll find that you can 3-shot people if all 3 connects. This may seem OP, but it is harder to connect than what is shown on these clips. And this is due to all the latency that's associated with Dark Souls 3. Typically, if I'm up against multiple opponents and I've managed to isolate somebody one-on-one, I try and use this technique just to finish them off as quickly as possible, as you see in this clip here. It's obviously worth trying in a one-on-one duel as well. If you're in a more confined space, you can also try something like the R2 follow-up. Basically what you do is, after hit confirming with 2 R1s, hit R2 button. If they roll to your side, at the end of their roll, release the R2 button. It's as simple as that. However, due to network latency, you're not always going to hit. It's not always going to be a confirmed thing. Of course, you can also try this move on its own to bait in a roll from your opponent and punishing them for that. So all you need to do, press R2, watch their roll, let go at the end of their roll, and then punish them for that. It's as simple as that. So far we've mainly concentrated on the two-handed moveset, so just to be complete, let's quickly take a look at the one-handed moveset. Now if I'm honest with you, the one-handed moveset is not something I use too much of with this weapon, simply because I think the two-handed moveset is so good. However, it does have its uses, and I find that the horizontal slashes are a great bait in for a parry. Now as you guys know, less you are predictable with a parry, the more likely you are to get your parry. Now the one-handed R2 is also something that I tend not to use too much of, but as you can see in a sec, you can try using it as a wake-up punish. Now the timing on it is pretty tight, so I prefer to do a rolling thrusting attack as a wake-up punish. On his own, this move has great hyper armor though, if I'm honest with you. It kicks in pretty early, as you can see here. So that about wraps it up for the PvP guide for this beast. The beast that is a Black Knight Greatsword. Hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something new, some cool new moves. I'm by no means the authority on PvPing, so if you guys got any other cool techniques you'd like to share, then please feel free to post in the comment section below. Now if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. And it would be amazing if you guys share this video around, so I can try and get some more subs. Try and build up a bit of a community around here. So until the next time guys, see ya!